to Hey, We're Talking. It's me, Scotty D. We got Bob Peel here. We got Derek Tant here. We're all here. The gang's all here. The Hey, We're Talking gang is back here on your speaker system, on your TV if you're watching on YouTube or on your phone or whatever you're watching on. Here we are, and we're so excited. It's Friday. You know what that means? Top five.
Pew, 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 pew.
Exactly. We have a top five today. We're going to be talking about
one of those little
we
things.
do. We need some. We're going to get some sound effects. I'm working on something. I got an idea of what I'm going to do, and I'll get some sound effects going. Hopefully, it won't be too much. That's my only fear is that I'll get so caught up in making sure that I do sound effects that I won't talk very much, and then you guys will get to talk all the time.
Well, we don't mind you talking less.
I know. I'm making a joke. I'm setting you up to be able to say that. Man, my voice is very hoarse today too. Okay.
Yeah, I can't speak words properly. You're very hoarse and coughing and hacking, and Derek just has a very nice haircut.
Derek's is like stealing the soul from a chicken on his smoker. That's all there is to it. Okay.
My son and his friend are eating chicken right now.
Oh, without you?
Yeah, well, I told them, I was like, guys, I got one more episode of Hey, We're Talking to record, and I need y'all to be quiet. But they're in the kitchen.
Well, not only that, don't just be quiet. Make sure you have some of that chicken left over for Daddy. Okay?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
my family's eating some Giordano's pizza right now.
Okay, we got to hurry up. Look, I'm not going to eat,
solid.
but I want you guys to be able to have that finger-looking good food. And I think even you could say Giordano's is finger-looking good. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Lou Malnati's is better, though. All right.
Not at all, loser.
So today on the show, we're going to do a top five of sorts. We've been talking about childhood memories and crazy people that lived in our neighborhoods when we were kids. And today we're going to talk about the top five things you got in trouble for. And if my family is listening, they're laughing their butts off right now. I don't think I could just do five that I got in trouble for. But before we start the show, we want to remind you about our wonderful sponsor, Gamefly. Go to gameflyoffer.com/HWT. I can't help myself /HWT.
Just say slash, dude.
I know.
/
Just relax. I can't help it. So that's gameflyoffer.com /HWT. I did it on accident that time. And you get yourself a free 30-day trial of their program. You can get one. I know. I can't stop watching your stupid cartoon in the background. If you're watching on YouTube, why even watch the show? Bob has some cartoon on in the background. It looks like Popeye getting beat up by a mouse. It is. All right. Gamefly offer. Gameflyoffer.com/HWT to get your 30-day free trial. So, without further ado, I think we should start with Derek because I can't even believe that Derek is going to have anything that he got in trouble for as a kid. Go ahead. What'd you do? Just name one.
Well, I was a liar as a post-toddler, pre-adolescent. Back when I was in kindergarten, first grade, I would come up with creative stories. And I remember I was in kindergarten, and I told my mom, she was like, well, how was your day at school? And I would always just make stuff up about what happened at school. And I think I just embellished a story about how somebody showed up at the school and we left with this person.
Oh my gosh.
just a silly story. I was just making stuff up. I didn't know it was wrong.
And was she like, did she believe you and freak out?
She was like, what are you talking about?
Who
That's
took you
horrible.
out of school?
And then she was like, are you she was like, did this really happen? I'm like, yeah, of course. It really happened.
Gosh.
And then she was like, and I remember this because we were going to McDonald's to get my post-school meal. We would go to McDonald's once a week or something like that. And then she was like, I need you to be 100% truthful. Did this happen? And I was like, oh, no. I was just.
And she was like, no McDonald's for you. So
we got out of the McDonald's drive-thru. We went home and I got a spanking.
You have to explain that to people because nobody knows what spanking is anymore. It's against the law.
Oh, you take a large wooden paddle and strikes to my backside.
To your posterior.
Yeah.
His gluteus maximus.
Yeah. But
did you lie after that again?
Not too much. Right?
So it worked.
I grew up in a home where there was a lot of corporal punishment. There was no, I would never call that abuse by
Right.
any means.
Right.
You don't like it at the time. But yeah, when we got in trouble, we got spanked and we got grounded. And that was enough to really keep me on the straight and narrow until my 20s. And that's when I really started making bad decisions.
That's funny. That's even better that you waited until your 20s to make your bad decisions.
Yeah. So, yeah, I got all the I was pretty good. I didn't get into too much trouble.
I know. I was going to say, I
childhood.
don't see you being like a troublemaker. I feel like you towed the line probably.
Yeah.
Not like because you were like, oh, I live in fear. I think you're not that type of guy. You're not a troublemaker.
Just a good kid. That's all.
Yeah, you're not a troublemaker.
Thanks, guys.
So, Bob, what did you get in trouble for? Give us one of yours.
One of my fondest memories was my younger brother and I. We went to 7-Eleven, and we had no money. And we decided to try to be slick and steal candy. And, we had our pockets loaded. Back then, it was like Tootsie Rolls were a penny.
Right.
And Jolly Ranchers were like a penny or 5 cents or something. And we grabbed everything we could and put them in our pockets.
I'm so old it was free.
We believe that.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Like they'd pay you to take their candy.
Exactly.
And I just remember my brother and I we were ready to walk out the store, and the lady, she literally grabbed both of our arms, and she just dragged us into the back room and called the cops. And of course,
they came and scared
cops
you to
show
death.
up. You're scared as can be. My mom worked at a grocery store, which was literally like, halfway across the parking lot. It was a different lot, but it was across a minor field. My mom worked there and had to leave the bakery over at the grocery store and come get us from the cops. And that was my youngest memory of actually getting in trouble. And I've got stories as we continue this.
And I'll just point another thing out that's so different from today. The fact that the lady just grabbed you. Like nowadays, if you put your hands on somebody, they'll get their cell phone out and you'll be on YouTube and everybody will be like, that person's so abusive.
Oh, yeah. I remember that grab, too. That wasn't just like, oh, come here, guys.
No.
Grab you by the shirt.
No.
She grabbed both of us from the arms, and she literally yanked us into the back room at the 7-Eleven. And then the head manager came out, and it wound up being this deal and, cops and all that stuff. And, it taught us a lesson as kids not to,
but you
don't
learn.
steal from 7-Eleven.
You didn't learn, though.
No, but... we didn't steal for a long time from that
It took a long time. It took a long time. But that's, again, I think it's interesting to kind of see, again, I am the old cranky guy. So I do have to talk about some of this stuff. What?
Just to add on to that 7-Eleven story, not long after that, and this tells you how days have changed, I would walk in there and hand a note from my mom to buy her cigarettes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they would accept a note. Hi, this is Miss So-and-so. Please sell my son a pack of cigarettes so he can bring them to me. Yeah. So not long after we got in trouble, I walked back into that 7-Eleven. Here you go. Here's a note from my mom, and they'd sell us cigarettes.
That does remind me, real quick before you go, Scott, when I lived in this town. When I was like 7 or 8 years old, we lived right down the street from a convenience store, and it was one Sunday afternoon. My parents gave me and my brother some money to go get ourselves some candy. Yeah, go get whatever you want. So I went down and I bought a pack of candy cigarettes, which it's like it was basically like sweet chalk. I mean, it was all it really was. It was just this hard candy that you chomp on, and I got in trouble for that. My mother was just appalled. What are you doing? Why are you getting candy cigarettes? That's horrible. I'm like, because it's just candy. It felt like there was a lot. I always was going for like the most bang for your buck. I was like, it feels kind of heavy. It feels like there's a lot of candy in here for the 50 cents that I paid.
And then they had the ones.
Now, Mrs. Tant, look at him. He smokes pipes.
And then they had the one where it was just gum.
Yeah, those were better.
And in a wrapper.
Yep.
And then it had a little bit of powder in it, so you could actually puff through it, and it would create a puff.
I was not allowed to get those, and so when I got of age again, because you should just be able to walk and do stuff when in our time, and I ended up just walking up to the drugstore, and I think we went around and found cans when the deposit thing was a big deal. I would return the cans, and then I bought those bubblegum cigarettes. I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Scott the bad boy. What did you, get in trouble for?
Oh, my gosh. What didn't I get in trouble for? In second grade, I started at the Christian school. This is one of the classics. In second grade, and this was not even me being bad. I started at Christian school, and I used to say, oh, my gosh, all the time. Okay? And when I got there, they told me you're not allowed to do that. Don't say that. But it was such a habit. You know, I was just like, every day I was like, oh my gosh. And so my teacher would take me out in the hallway and paddle me. They use these ping pong paddles. So I would get spanked at school. And then they would tell they'd tell your mom and dad you got spanked. And then I'd get home and I'd get spanked because I got spanked at school. So double spank for saying gosh. And then we were talking about this recently with my parents, and they were like, that's why you got spanked? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, I didn't know that. I go, you mean they paddle me at school, and then you spank me at home because I said, oh, my gosh? Yeah, we didn't know. And I was like, oh, my gosh. Get it? Yeah, but in second grade, there was two different teachers. My teacher was Miss Clark, and then there was, what was her name? Dang it.
Miss Smith. Let's just go with
it. Anyway.
Doesn't really
Miss
matter.
Smith.
Miss Jones.
Well, she became Mrs. Stratford later, but anyway, or Mrs. Hubbard. Either way, she got married. I couldn't remember her maiden name when she was the other second grade teacher. So our teacher had to step out. So she had that teacher came in and kind of watched the class for her. And I got in trouble for something because I was a smarty. I like a little pain in the butt, just like I am now. And so she was going to give me a paddling for something. So because I got paddled every day. So we go out in the hall. She paddles me, and it didn't hurt very much. She was being nice. And so I went back in the classroom, and I think I laughed when she hit me, the first one. I kind of went when she hit me. So she hit me really hard. And she broke the paddle on my butt. A second grader.
Wow.
This lady broke a paddle on a second grader's butt. So I went back into the class, and, when you get paddled, your butt, it really does get hot. Like it's red and inflamed. So I went back in the classroom, and I was like, ooh, like made this joke like it hurt really bad. And everyone dies laughing, and she took me back out in the hall and paddled me again. So, yeah, I got in a lot of trouble in school. But usually it was for really stupid stuff, not like really sinister things. But I got paddled all the time. And then when I got older, we went to the demerit system. And at my school, if you got over 40 demerits in the semester, then you'd
40.
get, oh, dude, I could do that in my sleep. You get 40 demerits. You could get 60 before you got kicked out of school. But if you went over 40, the next semester you could only get up to 39 or you get kicked out. So every year I would get 59 demerits the first semester, 39 demerits the next semester. Wow. I mean, on like clockwork. So I got demerits like crazy. I did. We could do so much about this, but
yeah, they're not gonna kick you out of school. That if you're a private school,
they did
are paying customers.
They did kick people out. I'm not kidding you, dude. My school was so strict. It makes no sense because I'm such a lunatic. I don't know how I survived, but I did.
Yeah, but you probably got demerits for, like you said, being a smart aleck.
Yeah,
now,
for joking around.
Aleck, you can make a nice living at it.
Yes, you can.
Oh, yeah.
You can.
Yep.
I got in trouble for it. All my demerits were for class disturbance. So for talking or making people laugh and stuff like that. That's what I got. And they were cumulative. That's why you're like, 40 demerits. How did that happen? Well, the first one's worth
Spreading
1.
joy.
The second one's worth 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you get up to 5, and then it's just 5 every time you get one. So
that's stupid.
It wouldn't take long, and I'd be racking them up. I mean, I could be like 4 weeks into the semester, and I'd have 40 already.
Well, if we went off of this show alone, you'd be already up to 60.
Oh, yeah, I'd be kicked out.
All right, cool. Had the Derek and Bob show.
Yeah, there have been meetings. I'm sure every out of the three of us, whenever it's me and Bob or if it's me and Scott, or Scott and Bob, we all have meetings about, do we need to fire him? Do we need to fire this guy?
So just kind of get back on the stories real quick. One minor one, which I thought was always fun though, is as kids we would go into the cornfields, and we would actually play a game where you rip an ear of corn off, a bunch of ears of corn off, and some people would be in the cornfield and some people would be right on the outskirts, and you literally try to chuck the corn into the cornfield and hit the people that are running within the cornfields. And
I'm sure the cornfield people were really happy about that.
Yeah, the farmers would call the cops, and the cops would run us off, and we never really got in a lot of trouble, but of course we got kicked off the property, and unfortunately we wasted a whole lot of corn over the years, but it was fun at the time. It was fun as kids.
It was.
The first time I ever got in trouble.
Go ahead, Derek.
This will be my final quick story.
No,
I was like 3. I had like a little Bert doll, Bert and Ernie.
Of course.
I had like a little Bert doll.
Yeah.
So I was in my room, and I would just toss it up in the air and catch it. That was because I was 3 years old. I'd be like, yeah. Well, I hit the overhead lampshade, the little light, the glass thing, and it came down and boom, shattered all over the room. And my parents came in. My mom was livid. What happened? And I was like, well, I don't know, and
started talking like Bert all of a sudden.
Yeah,
I know he did.
I don't know, Ernie.
All these things are related to Derek lying too.
But they were mad, and that was like the first time I'd ever like seen them mad at me, and I was like, I don't know. So,
that's when you should have just laid on the floor and just screamed, ah, and they would have thought it just fell, and then you
could have pulled a Christmas Story.
Well, I was 3, so I didn't have those critical thinking skills. It was just
didn't.
like,
Oh gosh, to go back in time.
I know. Whatever. Anyway, the only other thing I was going to say is when I was really young, like Derek, I used to run away from home. When I was like 4 years old, I would pack up all my stuff. I'd get mad at my mom, and I would run away to the corner, which was a house and a half away from our house. And I'd set up shop on the corner. And then she'd come out and say, please come back home. And I was like, no, I'm mad at you. I was a little jerk. But that same neighborhood, I just got to tell you this because I don't know if you guys ever did this. There was a girl that lived across the street from us. And when we were like 5 or 6 years old, she came over and we were in the garage. And, of course, there's a little doctor action that was going on. And we were fully nude. And my dad opened the garage, and he was like, what the crap is going on in here? Yeah. That one, I got a pretty good spanking for that one.
So, yeah, I remember I'm not going to say her name, but there was a girl that was my next door neighbor. I remember this girl's name because we're friends on Facebook to this day. But
I'm telling your wife.
We were in like 5th grade. And my brother and his friends dared me to stick my hand down her shirt.
No!
And I was in 5th grade, dude. I didn't know any better. I wanted to be cool. And, of course, the cops were called and all that stuff.
The cops were called when you're in 5th grade?
Yep. And I got in trouble. For that.
That's so stupid. That's stupid.
Yeah. But I know her. I know her now. I haven't, seen her.
You haven't put your hand down her shirt again, right?
No. She's a married woman.
Well, you didn't care back then. I don't know what now. All of a sudden, you're gonna have morals.
Bob,
I remember getting in trouble for graffiti, drugs,
dude. Gosh, you're way worse than me and Derek. That's for sure. Then I never did drugs or anything like that.
Yeah,
all kinds of stuff.
I was just throwing Bert dolls in the air and.
At 3, I remember when I got in a lot of trouble when I was 3.
I was a bad kid. I didn't have Jesus.
I got in a lot of trouble. Oh my gosh, did I ever get in trouble? All the time. I got suspended from school. Again, we could go on for days with this stuff. I've got so many things. Don't want to make my parents relive it though if they're listening. Probably give them more gray hairs.
Maggie, did you hear this? Remember that time?
Remember that time Scott got kicked out of school for throwing bang pops in the bathroom?
Remember when I saw him nude with that young lady in the garage?
Remember that time he said, oh my gosh?
Got spanked every day? No, I don't remember that. Oh, yeah, that's right. We let him get beat at school, and then we beat him at home.
And I don't even know why I was beating him. The school told me to.
Yeah. Did you guys have that thing though, where when you did get in trouble, your mom would say, "Wait until your dad gets home"? Did you have that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think people do that anymore, because you can't.
Oh,
you can't
my
do
wife
anything.
still does it.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Because I used to get, man, my mom would just, dude, your dad gets home, and then I would just sit there and go, oh gosh, Dad's gonna be home soon. Oh
So
no.
there's a lot of stuff now that my wife just handles because she knows if I get involved,
that
I
there's
get-
you're
that
gonna lose it.
I get loud, I'll get upset,
Yeah.
I'll upset the kid. I mean, like, I will disturb the house. So typically my wife will handle a lot of stuff, and then if I have to get involved, it just becomes it's a mess.
It's World War
We
III.
don't do that. Yeah.
Man, we could talk about this forever. This was a good topic. We should have given it more time. We could revisit it in the future.
Well, yeah, we'll revisit it down the line. But until then, if you guys need something to do, go ahead and log on to gamefly.com.
Nope.
I
Gosh
still
dang
can't-
it, Bob.
I can't
What
do
the
this.
heck?
I don't have it written down.
Just say, how hard is it to remember? Gameflyoffer.com/HWT.
Yeah, but I want to say, like, I don't know why in my brain it says gamefly.com/support.
No. What are
Like,
you
if you're
talking
having
about?
trouble and
no.
I don't know. That's what keeps popping into my head.
Derek, save him.
Well, you already said it, Scott.
No, but say something about the nice people at Gamefly. Can you do that, Bob?
Yeah, I mean, they are nice people. And I don't know the web link to go to. It's in the bucket below. Scott and Derek, they know it. But if you need some video games or movies or anything like that, go log on. Get yourself a 30-day free trial. One game or one movie out at a time. If you like it, great. Continue your subscription. If not, you can go ahead and cancel it. There's no cancellation fees or anything like that. You don't have to make a long-term commitment to it.
Correct.
But if you want to, you can get 2 or 3 video games or movies out at the same time. And it's a great way to save money overall instead of buying $60, $70 video games. Obviously you can rent a game for as long as you want. Once you beat it, you send it back and get a new one.
And if you're
Gamefly.com/support.
Gosh dang it. Gameflyoffer.com/HWT. Dude, you need to learn. You need to learn that. Seriously. Come on. Hey, and if you are a listener to this show and you're not into video games, your kids are. And this would be a great thing to give them as well. So.
Great Christmas gifts if we move forward.
Yeah.
Christmas,
just
birthdays.
For fun, dude.
That's a great back to school gift.
Yeah, it could be like
after
a little
they do
thing.
their homework.
Yeah.
After they do their homework, boom.
You can get
allow
them
to play their game.
You can get them to try hard in school by giving them Gamefly. So we also got
bribery.
down in the bucket Teespring. Go check that out. Check out our t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, all that good stuff. And check us out on Facebook. Say hello to us. Go to iTunes, review, rate, all that good stuff. We appreciate you guys. We will talk to you next week. We're looking forward to it. Until then, enjoy your weekend. We'll see you soon.